You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. Yo, it's Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name is Cal. That's Marcus. That's Jessica.
Hello.
How we doing, black people? It's been a minute. Y'all all right?
We're here. We're hanging in there on this 83 yesterday and
low 60s today.
Temp today. So
that's how people get
gloomy,
sick. I don't
misty.
that.
Somebody was just talking about that when the temperature fluctuates.
That's how you get mentally sick, actually.
That and physically, I guess your immune system is compromised with the different temps.
Going to that hot.
Well, that's what I took
like
from it. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
yeah.
104 here in Vegas yesterday. It's like 90. It'll be 90s the rest of the week. It's
too
nice.
hot.
Well, that's not good either.
Too hot.
You get sick from that in many ways.
That's too hot.
I've been in shorts since the end of February. It's great.
That's too hot.
Stop bragging.
104. That's too hot. You can't go outside anymore now.
You
yes,
can.
You can. It's not. Yes, you can. It's
short
like
periods of time.
107. Yeah, 107 is when it gets like weird. Because up here where I live, it was 104. It was easily 107, 108 down on the strip, down the valley, because it gets super hot down there. And then you have all the heat coming off the mountains and stuff. That's why you have so much turbulence when you fly into Vegas, for y'all that don't know. If you wonder why you have turbulence when you fly into Vegas or into like Arizona, like Phoenix, it's because it's the heat coming off the mountains.
It's the heat.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like that's why
the reflection or the yeah.
We have feared for our life on Vegas flights. Right. Just fearful. Like, what we're gonna die tonight. That's what this is. We're already super fucking hungover and depleted, and we're gonna die on top of it. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys want to start with? Do you guys want? I got an interesting thing that's been floating around from researchers about choosing the wrong partner will literally make you ugly and sick. Your body will react to it.
Absolutely.
Which, yeah, I agree. Like, that whole saying of like, when let's say your grandma or your mom was making food and it tastes really good and she said, "I made it with love." Have you ever had somebody make you some food and they were upset and you ate it and it didn't taste good?
And you just got sick, huh? And that's exactly what they wanted, right?
Okay, now wait. Sorry, what? Sorry, I was reading. I was glancing at an email. Why? Go ahead. My bad. We're filming.
You're good. So the first thing out of this, it says the nervous system cannot relax around the wrong person. If you feel anxious, confused, or emotionally unsafe, your body stays in a stress state. Chronic stress affects sleep, skin, digestion, and energy levels. You may call it love problems, but your body treats it as a threat.
Right. Your body does not know love. Love is a word that was created by, I don't know, right?
A marketing
right.
firm.
Love can be action, love can be friendship, love can be many things. But it's just, I equate it to newborns and the attachment and the connection that they need. And when they don't feel safe, how they develop. Same thing as an adult for your nervous system. It's not like you become an adult and then that's it. No, you have to maintain it in the same way that, a baby needs to be protected and loved and have a certain type of attachment in order to thrive and have a better outcome. So, yeah.
I think there's something maybe that you got to have before love. You got to have chemistry, I think, right? In these relationships, you're talking about making food with love, Kale, and all these.
Chemistry is not love.
Chemistry is not love. That's what I'm saying. So I feel what you're saying. But in order for things to work, I think it has to be that. It has to be a vibe. It's got to be some chemistry. Love is a thing, and love can be hurt. It could be pain. It could be all that. But it's got to be some chemistry there to start.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce around on some of these. There's another one that's really good that says the right person stabilizes your system, not disturbs it. You feel calmer, clearer, and more like yourself around them. Your energy improves because your nervous system is not under constant pressure. Good relationships do not exhaust you; they restore you.
Yeah.
Very valid. Very valid.
Yeah. All the science that we know, all that we know about the body and how things impact it, you know, energy, the exchange of energy. We are energy. So all of that kind of stuff, it does impact your body, whether you want to or not, or impact your quality of sleep or, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess what are we doing though, right? Like if a person is really, and this could be, I guess the beginning of the relationship, towards the end. I mean, if that person's making you sick, or the middle. I don't know. Again, I kind of just go back to the chemistry thing because nothing is perfect. So
yes,
when you're saying that the wrong person, yeah, I do agree that the wrong person,
well, it's like science, it's like biology,
is basically going to make you sick. Or if you're just in a state of unhappy, or you don't really,
that's the mechanics of it. That wears on your on your spirit.
If it's too
your
much
energy,
for too long,
yes,
is what we're saying.
You know, when you're in a relationship, you want to feel held, right? And when you always have to hold yourself, that becomes exhausting after a while, and then you start to break down. So,
but it's a flow in a relationship too, right?
Yeah.
Is there, it's ups and downs, and
right. But there has to be more. There has to be stability in between the ups and downs, and there has to be an actual feeling of held and completion through the ups and downs, or else, I don't know, you can't just not be held or just not be acknowledged emotionally. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so we're going in circles.
Next.
But do you guys think this too, outside of like relationships or friendships, excuse me, that this can translate into even like just relationships and friendships? Like, have you ever like maybe cut someone out of your life and you felt lighter, essentially, like you felt better because you felt like that person might have brought like a certain kind of baggage, and when they were around, it felt like they kind of weighed you down.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize it until after that person is removed and after you've gone through the pain. And a lot of people don't want to go through the pain and go through that period. So they just kind of
And
settle, or,
And, we feel
lose
like
themselves.
I know a lot of time we feel like we have to put ourselves through things just because it's family, or just because it's the homie, or I've been knowing this person for 20 years. So I got to sit through this pain or this uncomfortableness that I feel, or just drain, right? A drain of energy, instead of just cutting people off or slowly separating yourself.
Right. But then from that comes clarity, because nothing is forever. Like,
people don't realize
people think that if they lose this man, like, or a woman, that they're going to lose. Only if you allow yourself to be lost.
I got to be loyal. I got to be down. I got to.
Right. But yeah, no, some people lift them motherfuckers off. Friendships. Sometimes to become who you are meant to be, or do what you need to do, it does not matter. Kick every motherfucker out of your way. Family, friend, who cares?
And it's okay.
I mean, we care, right? We care. We don't want to have to do that. But me personally, I will release anybody, because I know how to mourn the process. I know myself. I know my worth. I know that I can find, another friend, or find myself. Shit. So it's like,
it comes down to settling
Carry
too.
on.
So I think
Once you're
that's
gone, I'm done with you.
You don't have to settle, and you don't have to do things just because that's always the way that it's been done. I know that we get stuck in our ways, and I know me personally, that's kind of how I get in this thing, and it's like, all right, it's always been like this. It's been like this for generations. I'm just going to deal with this because this is just how it is, but it don't have to be that way. And yeah, so I dig it. Yeah. Cut them loose.
It's funny you guys bring that up because this next one I was going to read, it's you lose yourself trying to maintain the connection. You adjust your behavior, tone, needs, and expectations just to keep peace. That internal conflict releases emotional tension. When identity becomes unstable, well-being follows. So yeah, that's a perfect example.
That's heavy.
Of that.
Yeah,
that is heavy.
That is heavy.
Yeah.
And I even learned too, like the older we get, I think I've told you guys this, like you guys are a little bit older than me, not by a lot, but old enough to like, but you guys know though, like especially when you reach like, let's say your mid 30s, early 40s, maybe even earlier, but you get to a point where like, you know what, I get to decide who and what I deal with. If I don't want to deal with you, I'm not going to deal with you. Like, I'm not going to force myself to have to deal with somebody when I feel like it's a chore to just even be around this person. Like, I'm not going to deal with that. And one of my good buddies had told me once, he's like in his 50s, and he said, man, he goes, he's like, especially when you get into your 50s, he goes, you really realize like you might actually in life that, and this is not including your spouse, you might actually only have like one or two actually really good friends, like ever in life.
That's that's fair.
Yeah, you said the right thing.
Good
the
job,
exact
Carol.
right thing at
Good
the right
job.
time.
Hey. You know, but I've learned that like the older you get, the more you start to lose people, you know. But I think too, it's with growing apart and everyone develops their identity and their morals and their standards and their beliefs, and it's just, you know, we just all kind of sometimes just drift off like this. But yeah, or sometimes you just cut people out entirely. So
sometimes you only have a certain capacity and bandwidth for relationships and maintaining relationships, and especially you know, if the relationship is, you know, not reciprocal or toxic in some way, it's just cut it loose. But in order to do that, in order to, you know, cut that person loose and move on, you have to have an awareness that an awareness of self. I think you need to be sound in self in order to let go of something that you care for, and because if that is causing harm to your mental health, you at that point you have to have the awareness that your mental health is suffering and that you're deteriorating to make the best decision for you. And I think a lot of people do not have that awareness and are not used to putting self first. So
I wonder why you think that is. I know we are taught that, okay, it's kind of weird to go to the movies by yourself and be able to do all these things by yourself. You got to always be with the gang or the crowd and be able to hang out with people, go to dinner and do all that kind of stuff, even if the people you're going with are not a benefit to you, right? So
it's more of a social thing. It kind of teaches you how to socialize. Right. That's why when you're young and like you said, you have a lot of friends. But once you understand, it's like who the fuck? I don't know. Who can maintain having 10 close fucking friends?
Too, yeah.
The fuck? That's a full-time job.
Especially for women. I think for women, it's a little bit harder. I think men are...
It's tough.
Yeah, you don't take much as far as a bunch of dudes hanging out. It's pretty chill, but still, it could be a drain, though. So I do get that, but I think nowadays, though, with the technology, it's maybe more common or more accepted to be on some solo stuff and just kind of kicking it by yourself, right?
Yeah.
If that's needed, right?
Right.
I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore, or at least with this generation.
Yes, we are becoming really disconnected and we communicate,
I think it's just different.
through our phones, but I don't.
A disconnect. I think
well,
it's
what
different.
it is that's fine as long I think it's unique to the individual. And as long as that person steps out in community, has a community to step out to, then it is okay to be with self a lot of the time. It's when you are with self and you never come outside of yourself and don't interact with people. That's the problem. Everything is a choice. You don't have to be isolated. But being with yourself and being able to be alone, I think everybody should really.
I think it's a lot of power in that.
It's okay. So, yeah.
Question, couple things here to touch on that. Mm-hmm. To play devil's advocate, do you think though that some people with the I like being by myself or the, lonely, or excuse me, let me start that over. The whole idea of I have to be in the crowd, do you think that's a loneliness thing? Some people have that fear of being lonely. And then on the other side of it, do you have those people that are just kind of low-key jaded? And so they don't trust anyone. And so they would like to be around people, but they prefer to be around themselves because when they're around, I don't know, maybe it's just how they pick the people they hang out with. There's always some issue or problem. I've run into that more with girls. Where like you hear girls say, well, I don't have many girlfriends because when I try to have girlfriends, they're just fucking haters. Or, that's why I have more guy friends. And a lot of guys will chalk that up to, well, no, you have a lot of guy friends because you're just a fucking hoe. That's what a lot of dudes.
I didn't want to say that, but that's the first thing I started thinking. And that's not fair, though. It's not fair.
It's a choice.
Yeah. It's a type of girl that says that, though, Kel. So I know who, yeah.
You connect most with who is most like you. And who you have initially, who you think you have something in common with. And if girls don't like, if you cannot get along with girls, it's not just the girls. It is also you. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've had, some, but I would never say I don't get along with girls.
But in all fairness, though, I think that should be okay too. If it's something with them and they don't vibe with the girls, do they have to change in order to do that? Or do they just need to be on their own thing and be like, all right, I'm not vibing with that. I'm going to just stay over here.
Well, then be on your own thing. That's my thing. If you want to isolate yourself, just be careful because some people don't realize that they're isolating and it becomes a wired thing and you don't even realize that you've been isolated for I don't know how long. So, I think because what is happening where people are becoming more isolated, I think we need to kind of accept that and kind of change the narrative and say it is okay, but make sure you still have community. Make sure you get out in your community. And there are still people that are still going to operate like community. But I don't think, somebody was on Instagram talking about if your neighbor, if your friend wants some sugar, get the fuck up and get him some sugar. That's your friend. Everybody's going through something. Get up and do it and blah, blah, blah. The fuck? No. I'm not sacrificed. I'm already down and out. And you're telling me just because you're down and out, because your friend wants some fucking sugar, compromise your shit to go give them something? Make it make sense.
You know what, though? That's exactly what I was talking about earlier, to where we've been trained in that way.
That's what I'm saying. We've been trained to
since we were little kids.
Yep. Go give your friends
since
some sugar.
We were little kids.
I mean, I don't know. I understand. I get it, but people are in a really weird space.
And you know
and so
what?
When you have other people saying, go out and help your it's weird now. So you help,
There's no
you
secret.
You get your own sugar. Like we're becoming self-sufficient in this bitch. We're becoming independent. So,
on the flip side of that, there's no score that's being kept, or there's no points for going out and sharing with your neighbor. And you do that with your neighbor, and there's no guarantee that that is going to come back, though. And people get burned and things happen.
Well, people get burnt out because they're constantly
you talk about being jaded.
Even the friend, you're constantly giving to your friends and doing for your friends. And it's like...
Yep. And then you're just over it, and you figure out that people ain't shit, and then you just move on, and you just deal with yourself, or you deal with your family, and you just keep it low key. So I get all of that.
Well, then you realize once you start giving, stop, operating in that same way, then.
Do you think though that that's based off of expectation when you give, right? Because it's like when you give, are you supposed to assume that you're going to get it in return? Like, or do you just give because, oh, this is just what I do? But if there's expectation, doesn't it hold it to a more, I guess, a different kind of standard, I guess is what my point. Does that make sense?
I mean, what do you give? What are you giving? It depends on the context. What are you giving? Who are you giving to? Because I'm going to need something in return. But for the most, I don't know. I think there's some giving that's free, and I think there's some giving that should be reciprocated. I don't know. And sometimes when you give, people will just take, and you have to be the one to stop and be like, are you going to give something? So there has to be, there should be. That's a complete imbalance to say give and never expect anything in return from people. I mean, it sounds noble, but is that really how people operate?
Right.
Especially when they're doing it over a long period. Fuck no.
Again, there's no points or there's no score. So to give and just to do it is one thing. If it's out the kindness of your heart and you don't expect anything back, or you think that, okay, I'm good with these people. This is my tribe. This is my people. This is my gang. So I'm going to give. And then it should be coming back. But I think the issue is that when
there's different ways it can come back.
It's not, or if there's an imbalance, or if you feel like you're pressured, or like it's always coming back to you, I think that's one of those things. You shouldn't feel pressured from yourself or from the outside, right? So going back to
giving can become an expectation,
right,
whether it's intentional or not.
But you set that on yourself, though, and you're putting that on yourself. So you don't have to do anything just because this is what I guess this thing has been looking like for a long time. So I think you manage it, and it's okay to say no to people. I think that's really what it comes down to. And if your gang or your tribe, it can't be good with you saying no.
Yep.
And you kind of know what's up there.
The moment you say no, you watch people. Yeah.
No is a complete sentence.
It has power.
Real quick, I wanted to ask you guys, because we were talking about, people that kind of, I don't want to say self-isolate, but just don't like to be social. I get what you mean. I mean, what you mean, Jess, by how it has become the new normal, and we see more of that. And a lot of it is people just essentially protecting themselves. But the other part of that, though, is, but do you think that's part of the reason that we have this awkward issues we have now when people do have like face-to-face conversation? Because it's really weird how like people can easily communicate through text messaging, DMing, all the things. But when it comes to just having a face-to-face conversation, some people just can't do it. It's weird. It's very weird for them. It's very hard for them. Because they're just so used to doing this. This was always the easiest and safe way of doing that. So do you think part of that attributes to that?
Well, part of it can attribute to it. I think there's many factors, but I also thought about this. A lot more people are being born or are recognized as neurodivergent, and that is a whole social thing in itself. That's where a lot of the awkwardness comes in, and the social anxiety, and isolation at times. I know it can be harder to get out, or you don't really, know that you need to get out in that way. So that's another thing. And so sometimes I think it is just easier to communicate via text and phone, not even phone.
And for me, I think it's one of those things. I always want to go back to the youth and try to compare and all this kind of stuff and say it's different times. All that is true. So I think we're communicating differently. And when you talk about being different or being awkward, I think it's just a different way to communicate. It's generational. I was at a summit.
It is generational too.
A youth summit last, I guess it was earlier this week, right? And I was pretty much amazed at how these kids could get in front of a group of their peers and get on the microphone and talk and give their points and do all of this different stuff. It may sound a little different just because of how they use their words and like kind of what their slang is and different stuff like that. But I think the communication is there, and I think they're used to using their voice, but it's just in a different way, right? It's not in the same way. It's not face-to-face, but they're able to express themselves over the phone. So it's a different style, but
right. There's all of
different.
These factors. And remember, COVID just changed how we communicate, period. Yeah. That's it.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it. So that's why everybody's so fucking weird, aside from...
I don't want to call it weird, though. Yeah, I want to call it different.
For neurodivergent people, my peeps, I'm only speaking from experience as a neurodivergent, once masked, but now like fully unmasked. And I am even surprised at the solitude that I now crave and the amount of I do not want to be around people and talk face to face. It's very uncomfortable for me. So, yeah. So.
It's a such thing as burnout too, though, because I feel a little bit of that too. Like, just we went hard for a long time on the social side of things.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know for me personally as well, I crave a good, kind of looking at the four walls type of situation, just kind of chilling. Right. So
I
think it's one of those things that, I could be jaded. I feel like I've done enough of that. So I don't know. I think it's something to that.
About being burnt out. Well, yeah, no, that's not what I was talking about, even though that is why my body is completely shut down on me. But, yeah, anyway. Yep.
I'm saying for me,
I'm saying it all yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a good example of just seeing like what happens when you don't have social interaction, because humans need social interaction, no matter how big or how small. You just need to interact with other humans. But like when you brought up COVID and you notice like the COVID babies, so like the kids that were born in like 2017, 2018, and those are the kids that like didn't go to preschool, right? Didn't go to daycare. And then they finally come back and they finally go to preschool. They finally go to kindergarten, and like
they're masked, and it's 6 feet for so long. Don't touch your friend. You cannot hug your friend. You cannot. Right. So,
and it's just weird. And so now it's like it's like, wow, like what you look at someone like, yo, what's wrong with your kid? And it's kind of like, whoa, hold on. This kid didn't have interaction with other kids.
Think about it. They were
like
wearing
4
masks.
years.
They weren't seeing people's facial expressions. They weren't seeing anything except
all
for at home.
Yeah, all that stuff that you just learn and develop just as a child of like social cues, right?
The normalcy.
Like, yeah, they didn't have that. And so like that was like, I feel like, what do they call? Are they Gen A? Is that what they are? Gen Alpha?
No.
I don't know. But like that's a really good like if you want a good like test sample to see how people are supposed to be social, just look at kids, COVID babies, and like middle schoolers and like high schoolers during COVID.
Right.
And just saw how weird shit got.
That just means society's kind of social contracts are not fixed, because we have a whole lower generation of kids that are coming up completely different, and they are going to change how things are forever.
And that's my point.
And how people communicate. And
it's not weird.
Forever.
It's just different, right?
Yeah.
A different style, a different way of doing things.
It's evolution. And this is how we're evolving. I don't know. Some people say it's good. Some people say, oh, good. We're losing our brain cells. Okay, well, guess what? It is what it is.
It's just how it is.
This is what's going. This is what is happening, people. Get on board or don't. It's happening with or without your permission. But you had a point, and there was. What were you saying, Kel?
What was your point? About kids and just like social stuff, or about? I had another point I was going to bring up. Well, there's
got the COVID babies and how they're different.
No, it was. Oh God, it was something. All right, go ahead.
Well,
this is why I need paper. Write down.
Let's wrap it up on this one, and this is a very good point. Because people don't pay attention to their body. So it goes, your body keeps score even when you try to ignore it. You may mentally justify behavior, but your body still reacts. Headaches, tight chest, poor sleep, low appetite, or overeating. These are signals. The body detects stress long before the mind accepts it. And I think, it's one of those things. Pay attention to your body.
I am the prime example. You will override your body. You're like we were talking about, your brain does not understand you're depleted, or I don't know how to explain it. However, your body is the first thing that reacts in situations, whether you're conscious of it or not. And I know for me that I have a sensitive system, and I did not know how sensitive I was. And I was running at full capacity, giving birth to children and just pounding the pavement, working out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, he was playing like fucking just full time in it. Then I was partying on top of it. How the fuck? Thank you, Mom. Anyways, so I am, and I also, my heart rate, also another thing, it runs naturally higher, but I'm overriding all of these signals because of life and because of the expectation that if you are not running 24 hours a day, then you are not worthy. And so COVID, when I was forced to slow down, all the signals that I had been ignoring, they came down like the fucking hammer. And I have been forced to sit down. So yes, my whole point is your body definitely does speak to you, but we have been conditioned to override those signals. And I am a prime example of what happens when you override rest, recovery. You let people tell you, it's a whole thing about being a stay-at-home mom, questioning what the fuck I do, and making me feel like I just fucking sit and eat fucking bonbons all day. And I was guilty. I was doing the most, and now I can't. So, and now I am so in tune with my body. It's now that I know the sensitivities and I can understand everything, I am very connected, much more connected to my body. And it has decreased my anxiety, everything. So being connected and listening to your body and not overriding, it is absolutely, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't even say it's just a young thing either. I was going to say it's age and we do all these things when we're younger, but it's
you
just.
don't know what you're doing.
I know, but even now.
It's going to slap you, that ass.
I'm saying even for folks that are older, this grind culture that I'm going to sleep when I die type of thing.
The fuck?
It's not just for young people. So, yeah, it's crazy. You got to listen to your body or your body's really going to let you know. It's going to shut you down. It's going to make you listen.
Yeah. And, some more than others. Some
or the timing's just different.
Some are built where that didn't. Like some people had a horrible reaction to COVID. Some people barely reacted. And so there is, levels to your body and your sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I forgot my point.
Well, it was good. We can end it there, Jess. That was good. That was good. Truly Unruly, y'all. Marcus Trufant, Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. Follow us on all things social at trulyunruly_podcast. And if you have any questions for us, you can email us at trulyunrulypodcast@gmail.com. Of course, like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and catch the visual on YouTube. What did we learn today, guys? We learned that don't be around toxic people. It will physically actually harm you.
Yeah. Listen to your body.
It's good for you. Listen to your body. And
women need more rest than men.
And we learned that sharing is not caring.
Yes.
They worry about yourself.
Worry about your
we did not
self.
say
We
sharing
did see
is
that.
not caring. When
I don't
you
care
are
if you need
sharing
some sugar
at the expense of your capacity, that's when sharing is not caring. Right. That's when sharing. No,
that's true.
Don't override. So that's what I'm saying. That's when I said, go get your fucking sugar yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree 100%.
All right. Till next time, peace and much love.